Let's talk to Susan Hall, London Assembly member, of course, former Conservative London mayoral candidate. A couple of stories about Sadiq Khan this morning. Susan, very good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
I mean, hard to believe that Sadiq Khan, I won't refer to him as with his title that he now has, that he was given in the New Year's Honours List, because I don't think he deserves it. First of all, we find out that he got free tickets worth £3,000 to Taylor Swift concerts when she was here at Wembley Stadium in London. He didn't declare them initially, and when he did declare them, he then declared them as football tickets, and then when he did that, he under-declared them and said that they were worth less money than they actually were. What is it about Labour politicians and their need to go and see Taylor Swift for free?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is about them that thinks they should have everything for free. I mean, look at the government. It's just FREEBIEGATE, isn't it?
Isn't
with
it?
Them? They're dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
Incredible. So, I mean, that's the first story. Then there's the second story, which sort of broke yesterday because he gave an interview to The Observer in which he regarded the incoming President Trump as a fascist. It talks about the far right taking over the Western world and how we have to fight back against it. I mean, even his own party now have slapped him down for saying that.
Well, I'm glad they have slapped him down. I mean, he has been against President Trump going all the way back. He's been rude about him, he's dismissive, and as with so many Labour politicians, if there's anybody from the right, and I mean just right of centre, they call us hard right or right in a way to try and prove us as racist, because that's what they do, and that way they think they'll get us out. And unfortunately, that's worked in London. But I think people are getting fed up with that now. We're sick to death of it. We're not far right. The minute I was selected to stand against him, all the press were told that I was hard right.
Yeah.
I mean, for goodness sake, what nonsense.
I know. It is totally ridiculous. I mean, this is quite an extraordinary situation over the Taylor Swift tickets. Because if you remember, and I know you're quite heavily involved in this questioning of Sadiq Khan, because he doesn't like answering questions, does he? I mean, I saw a clip from him last week where he said that he would never encourage anyone to work with reform, which seemed to me the most ludicrously undemocratic thing even he has ever said. But we remember that not only did he get these freebie tickets, but Taylor Swift got that blue light, fast convoy scenario when she'd left Wembley Stadium after her shows. She would have a fast car and an entourage chasing all the way through with a police escort all the way back to her hotel in the centre of town. Now, one might ask the question, are these two things related?
Well, I've never been able to get to the bottom of that. I was the one that put in the questions about the tickets to Taylor Swift. But privately, I've spoken to police officers that have dealt with these escort police before, and they've said that there's no way that they would normally do it. Now, whether it was the Home Secretary, whether it was Sadiq Khan, or whether they didn't have anything to do with it at all, I do not know. You just can't get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, and LS Events, who are the people that provided the tickets, are, I think, from the last time I read about this story, a company that's involved in quite a lot of outdoor events that are done for the City of London and for the Mayor's office. So there's an obvious conflict of interest here, where he's receiving freebies from a company that gets business out of the City of London Mayor's office.
Yes, that's right. But as I say, all the way through the summer, we've seen all the freebies they're all getting. Today we see that Angela Rayner has been getting her staff to do all her moving. They're not supposed to do that either. Right. I mean, it's all gone to their head, and they just do what they like with taxpayers' money, which is unacceptable. Yeah,
it totally is. There's now also another inquiry being called for, which is into the Attorney General, and this is Robert Jenrick, who basically has found out that not only has he got a conflict of interest when it comes to Gerry Adams, but he also may now have a conflict of interest when it comes to the Chagos Islands.
It just reeks, doesn't it, quite frankly? It's all these Labour politicians. I mean, so many of them embroiled in things that, wouldn't pass the sniff test, as it were.
No, it really wouldn't. It is extraordinary, isn't it, how Sadiq Khan manages to remain not only in office, but in such kind of arrogance in office, where he won't answer. I mean, you've had it many times, and we've played out many clips of yours asking him questions which he refuses to answer. I mean, it was only last week, I think, that you were asking him about the grooming gangs situation, which he was deliberately obfuscating and deliberately trying to goad you into using, I presume, the word either Pakistani or Muslim or Asian, so that he could then accuse you of being a racist.
Yes, and I specifically just asked about grooming gangs because I do not know if we've got any in London. I can't imagine that we haven't. But he's the police and crime commissioner, so he should know and he should be able to tell us how many.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to complicate it by referring to any of the people that might be behind this, because as you're quite right, he would have then gone on to a different tangent. And in any event, I don't know. I don't know if there are any. I don't know who the perpetrators would be. And I just wanted a simple answer.
Right.
And it was Mayor's question time. He is obliged to answer us. But you know how much he hates me, Mike. You've seen it over the years.
Yeah.
How many times have we had this conversation?
I know.
He will not answer me, but he's duty bound to.
Of course he is.
You know, what you do.
I know. It's not, you know, the private fiefdom of Sadiq Khan. It's the London Mayor's office, paid for by the public purse, paid for by the taxpayers, and he needs to do better. Well, let's keep up the pressure, Susan. We'll get him out eventually, hopefully. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Susan Hall, former mayor, a candidate for the Conservative Party and still a London Assembly member as well. Sadiq Khan, what on earth does he get away with all of this stuff for? How is that possible?